Our last session before lunch is staffing an association, as I mentioned, is most important, which I keep hearing about and asked about if I could help them. We thought this could be a right platform to address some of them who are involved themselves, have the knowledge, direct knowledge to impart knowledge. Mr. PVG Menon, National President of India Electronics and Semiconductor Association, IESA. Mr. Menon. Mr. Menon has over 25 years experience in the Indian IT industry. He has rich experience in development, marketing, and management of technology, and has worked with leading companies where he has built multi-billion-dollar global businesses. Mr. Menon's experience in semiconductor, embedded system, computer graphics, is active in industry forums, has participated in several path-breaking industry research activities. He is widely quoted in media and is part of many committees of the government at both central and state level. Thank you, Mr. Menon. I would like to call upon Dr. H.P. Singh, founder and chairman of Confederation of Horticulture Association of India. Dr. Singh is a prime mover of research, development and education, has served horticulture, agriculture in various capacities, namely scientist. He occupied position in many international organizations like chairman of APCC, Jakarta, national director for internationally aided projects, chairperson of steering committee, BAPNet, Biodiversity International, so on and so forth. Dr. Singh has outstandingly contributed to research, education, development, which earned him 3 international, 38 national awards, and 9 fellowship, including fellow of NAS. He has authored and edited 61 books, 30 bulletins, 40 reports, and over 350 scientific papers. His effort has provided a strong foundation for horticulture development, leading to golden revolution in India. Thank you, Dr. Singh, for being with us. I would like to also call upon Mr. Mittal, Sunil Kumar Mittal, CEO of Rensol Technologies. Sunil, of course, spoke with us yesterday, and telling us about how association could be effective. Sunil has over 30 years of experience in the IT industry. He runs one of the largest association software management company, and I know he works with several international bodies and Indian association. So he's the man if you are looking at help, how to better manage your association, how to adopt technology. Our today's theme has been very, very unique, and we would like to stick to that, subject and understand your, if you have any thought process you could share with us, is that staff has been a big issue. Because most of the trade association, of course, they have the revenue or they have the money to adopt or to employ people. But there are several professional societies or non-governmental organizations. They may not have the luxury of budget or the revenue to support a full-time. And we know it's a catch-22 situation. If you don't have a good secretariat, if you do not have professional staff, you are not able to take your association to the next level. Similarly, as a volunteer leader, your time is also limited. So we are looking at now, how do we find these people? They are not easily available in a public domain. So it's basically a referral that happens. So with this topic, and I'm sure these are also some of the questions coming up in the audience mind, and they would need, I know some time back, Dr. Gangadharan, who was struggling with how to find right staff for the association. So, Mr. Menon, what are your take on this?
Is this on? Yeah. It's a very good question, and I, what I do full time now is run an association which has a full-time secretariat, and trust me, the staffing of a full-time secretariat is as challenging, especially for a sectoral association like ours. But I've also served as a volunteer in another association. The challenge is, I can look at this two ways. I mean, you rightly touched upon the fact that money is an issue. There is a certain revenue stream that comes in, but money still remains an issue, especially for someone like ours, where we have to reach out to people and get people from industry. Especially, let's say, my senior people in the secretariat. And I ultimately looked at taking a slightly different tack, and I apologize, I'm going to speak from personal experience. I'm not going to give you a theoretical answer. We are very fortunate in the electronics and semiconductor industry that we have a large pool of professionals who would like to give back to industry and have, at mid-careers, typically in their mid-40s to early 50s, have put in a stint in corporate life and have decided to take a break and assess whether they want to do a startup of their own or they want to continue in the corporate career. And to most of them, what we are saying is, give us two years. And the worldview that you get working for an association is very different from what you would get if you work in a company. And we've been very, very fortunate. I've just got 2 vice presidents who each of them has 25 years in industry. And I've been very fortunate in being able to get such people into the secretariat. I've also been part of a professional society, and there it becomes a challenge. And I think one of the earlier panels, someone talked about using technology extensively, and we were using things like Google Docs and SkyDrive, but it is a challenge. And especially when an event has to be done, it becomes a huge challenge without a full-time secretarial support. So honestly, if you ask me, is there a way out to solve this? I'm still searching for the answer. And as you correctly said, Prashant, I wish there was a Naukri.com for associations.
Dr. Singh, you run a confederation, of course, again, professional society. And you have been into the professional side in government, and of course, run now as a volunteer member. And effectiveness of the association is also depend on the quality of people that you have, or those who are helping you to achieve the goals. How difficult for you to find those people?
Thank you. First of all, as he has said, it's very difficult to find the answer. So let us analyze the different situations and different kinds of associations. If you talk about FICCI, they may not have so much problem because they are fully supported by the government. Then further, since they are the older organizations, FICCI has got some name because most of the meetings will be attended by prime ministers and so on and so on. So even someone is interested to go there, he will prefer to go to the FICCI than to the other association which is not known. So that becomes the first, not only the money. Your brand name of the associations becomes very, very important. So how to get the brand name and what you are doing, some kind of thinking we have to give, how to get the brand name, or how to manage some of the system where somewhere someone works, like your organization or somewhere, who provides the staff for time being when the work is there. Because all the time, the association may not have that work, so much of work. But of course, some secretarial job they will require, but so much of work will be not there. Now, even I am associated more with international organization, that is International Society of Horticulture Sciences. They don't have the too big a secretariat. They have hardly the 5 to 6 people, but they manage at the whole of the world level. But of course, this is the technology, what is the current technology available. They are using everything is on web. So only thing is that they are so efficient that you send them the mail and you get the answer, maybe the same day or maybe the next day. But in many of the associations here, what we have in our country, you send them the mail, even you don't get the answer for the many days. Because even the president, he may not be so apt to do the job of sending the mail back. So he has to depend on some secretary or some volunteer. Secretary might be some volunteer. He has to depend. He is not available, so they don't answer. So these are some of the situations and how to manage very difficult questions. But we must have to find the way out. For example, a lot of problem was there when I was in ministry, in many of the societies. That is the professional, I will not say the academic society, professional societies in the different villages and so on. Auditing is there, but they don't have the staff. So a decision was taken that maybe the 15 or 20 societies put together, one finance officer is put, one administration is put, who will help them financially to manage their finances and so on and so on. So same type of jobs are also here. For example, now I have my association very new in the matter. When, as long as I was in the government, all the volunteers were very much ready to come and help me. But when I have left the government, then they may not be available. Even if you say, then they will say that his boss is different. And so that is very difficult now. So what I have done is, I have resourced it. For example, all the finances, I have resourced with the chartered accountant and so on. So he maintains everything for me. If the secretarial job is that some of the job I do, and some I get on the resourcing basis, some people, whenever that heavy work is there. So the only solution is to give them the staff. Resourcing is one of the solutions. And who could be the resource? Someone has to come forward. Suppose in Delhi, there may be the 20 associations. So there could be someone who could resource that some trained manpower to that association as per the needs, whatever the charges are there. And once the association is there, and if they are interested to have the help, they can borrow. But of course that what is the financial status of the society, all this will be guided by that. So I think that one of the thinking we must have to give to resourcing the manpower, trained manpower to the such associations on some time frame basis, on some cost, will be the one of the solutions to help them. Because this is declining. What I said, the volunteer help is declining. I remember when I have been associated with different kinds of associations for the last 41 years in the different capacities. But our association has been mostly the academic association, where sometimes the president may be my boss to boss may be the president, so I have to do the work. But our commitment used to be very high. But now even among the people who are coming even in that governmental system, their commitments are not there. Even if somebody you give them designation as treasurer, he used to feel elated to be the treasurer of the society, he will do the job. So that has completely declined and that is not happening. So only options to me is resourcing of trained manpower. Someone has to take the job, that he trains the people, that he can be resourced and he could do the job. Maybe the secretarial job, maybe the financial job, maybe the audit. Because once you run the society, a single man has to take care of everything. Yesterday we were talking about various legal issues. Many of us may not be knowing that. So many things emerges. So someone has to come to provide that type of help.
Sunil, you spoke yesterday about empowerment of the staff. Okay, most of the time, the volunteer members or the committee don't empower their staff. Is that the challenge in terms of carrying the legacy of the association? You think that is a limiting factor, that every decisions are limited with the management committee and the big association also, where they have a professional staff, they are not equipped enough or not empowered enough to take decision?
Yeah, I think you're very right. But I would before that want to segregate the problem as my colleague here mentioned. The challenges are different for various types of associations. Like, you divide them into larger ones, like, you mentioned FICCI and CII and so on. So if we divide, let's say, 2 or 3 different categories of associations, each one, the larger ones probably have the money, they have full-time staff, as you mentioned, and they can afford. They have a different set of challenges. The others where they do have smaller number of staff, but nobody's wanting to join an association. Like yesterday I was talking to some people over dinner that, either it's only for retired people or, somebody who's just young and so on. So the people at the middle level who don't come on. And the last set of associations, which are probably societies who have a lot of student members, they don't have, enough funds to, and they're more volunteers, who, if they are committed, will work for the, associations. Now, taking this, my view is that, yes, for each of those, you have to address the problem in a different way, one for the larger ones, I'll take one by one, give me a couple of minutes, is perhaps, rotating people, and you are a classic example. You came out of the industry voluntarily, identify such people. There are various ways technology can help you identify those set of people who can, help associations like yours. That's one of the, answers that, I can see which can work. The second one, for those who cannot attract, perhaps, in the government there is, or public sector mainly, people come on deputation or rotation. So perhaps some of the associations can think of their members sending, maybe for a short period of time, say 2 years, 3 years, use them, okay? And I would also like to take for the first and second category of associations, what you also mentioned, use professional organizations. It may think that, it's costing you money, but if you look at hiring full-time 4 or 5 people, it will be far more cost effective to deploy a professional organization to manage your affairs, who will use technology, who will use resources. They will share resources between various associations, but your work will be done. Your members will be happy, okay? Just last point I want to touch upon here is, there are a lot of fallacies that we see in the associations. I've met, like you have, hundreds of associations both in India and overseas. There's a fallacy that, I have people here working enough. I can do my, membership management. I can do my events myself. I can do a whole lot of things. But very few, barring, top few, very few use technology to their, I'm coming back to the technology point again, is that I can tell you that yesterday we heard a lot of, quite a few of you talking about members not being happy, members not being serviced. We're looking at fully engaging with the members. Now, if your staff is busy in the day-to-day mundane activities, where is the time for them to serve the members? Where is the time for them to engage with them? That's where technology can really help you, your staff, to let the technology and the systems take care of the day-to-day things, and your staff focus on, engaging with the members.
Thank you, Sunil. I wanted to give this floor open to see if anybody has any issue in terms of stuffing. Yes, TNAI. I know, ma'am, please.
We have a full-time office in Delhi and more than 25 staff members. But the current 3-4 years, we find it difficult to get the people at the higher level, especially the deputy secretary general and assistant secretary general and such type of professionals having high qualification like Menon, Singh or anything like experienced people. So it's a real challenge to the association now. We are facing it, even though we are giving a good package of salary and all these things. People are losing interest in working with the association, and they have many other work opportunities available outside also. So this is a great challenge at present we face. So I would like to get some answer from the group. I was very keenly listening that panelists, but I didn't get any answer from them, anything as such. So we are having certain service rules. We are concentrating on the age like retirement, 60 year and all. We are currently thinking about raising the age bar into 65, but we have not taken a decision as such yet. But this is a great challenge at present we are facing.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Doctor.
I am Dr. Goswami. In fact, what I feel, I am having, experience from multinational and then, experience in association. And I have worked in abroad also. I think the Indian association majority are unorganized and they lack budget. India doesn't lack, quality manpower. I don't believe that we cannot get quality manpower. But one of our panelists told that if you give peanut, you will attract monkeys. If you go to the history, FICCI, CII, ASSOCHAM, and Indian Chamber of Commerce, PhD Chamber, those apex organizations, they suffered huge attrition from 2000 to 2010. And they had to reorg the salary. Even my organization, I used to be the Deputy Secretary General in PhD Chamber of Commerce. We had to rework the salary in the tune of 2-3 times. Director used to have a salary of 6 lakhs to 8 lakhs. That has been made almost 20 lakhs to 24 lakhs or 30 lakhs. And now we have started attracting good people. We do get resume from IIT and IIM passed out, but we cannot match their salary in the entry level, right? So what is happening, I'm not talking about the apex organization, as because they have the, to my knowledge, they have overhead expenses budget is almost 20 to 30% of the total operational budget. Like Dr. Singh, we had the opportunity to work together. In fact, 20 to 30% of the 20 to 30% overhead expense of operational budget of almost 10 million. So it means that they are spending 20 to 30 crore rupees annually to retain the manpower. And they are able to do that. They are really able to do that. But for smaller organizations, smaller associations, what is happening, as they are banking on only membership, they don't get revenue from exhibition or conferences, or they don't get government support. You rightly told the bigger organization get government support easily. So money is not an issue for them. Or like Sushant, you told that corporatization. They have already become multinational organizations. I am not saying they're Indian corporate house. They have organized themselves in a multinational fashion. They have well-organized HR. If I look at FICCI, their HR department is having 18 people, 18. Sure. 18 people, 18 people in the HR department. If I talk about PhD Chamber of Commerce, where I used to be the Deputy Secretary General, I had 12 people in the HR department I'm talking about. So HR department, they're meant to take interview, they're meant to, recruit, they give, training for skill development, or they send people for training abroad to retain the manpower. Those things are needed. So I don't believe that India lack skilled, expert, qualified manpower. What we lack in the association, the money. If you can spend good money, you will definitely be able to attract talent, which we are able to do that.
Sir, you want to ask something? We're going to come to panelists. Let us take the questions.
Yeah, this is Kumar. One of the solutions to finding staff, especially for societies like the ones I've been in, which have very low budget, okay, and membership of 500,000-600,000, but limited budget, is to hire, and these, of course, the treasurer, president, they will all be elected and voluntary. The staff can be retired people. If you try to hire a young man to run the society, he will, of course, look for better opportunities, growth prospect of career, and so on. But if you hire a retired person who has just retired from somewhere as a clerk or accountant or even senior person, he will be happy with some, because nowadays retired people at 58, 60 are very active, still in good health. They can do a job for you for 5, 6, 10 years, and with the limited money, So that can be a solution if you look for a retired person rather than a young man.
Yes.
Thank you very much. It's a good suggestion, I find. That's a good suggestion. This is a good suggestion I have got, taking a just retired person for that higher post. Yes.
Can I?
Yes, sir.
I think the success of any organization or association primarily depends upon the quality of the manpower. I think this needless to say in this forum like this. Particularly in professional societies, mostly run by the people as a side job, not as a regular. Other associations, some associations are run by the general management graduates. And in that context, I would like to share with all of you here that my university where I am currently working, that is Acharya Enjiranga Agriculture University in Hyderabad, the home science faculty, we offer 1 year PG diploma in event management and organization management, I think exclusively course taught by the well-qualified home science faculty. I think maybe if somebody is really interested to take them, I think we have only 25 students come from this faculty every year. That is called PG diploma in event management and organizational management, how to manage it's a very well designed course to meet the requirement of I think this very, very fast growing the event management industry. I think I would like to share with all of you. You can see from our website and please come to our university if somebody want really some qualified manpower. All the graduates of the home science, 4 years home science graduates, after that and 1 year PG diploma in the event management and organization management. I think a well demanding course. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I am Venu from NL Bangalore. So I agree with the sir that senior people need to be taken. But the thing is, one caution what I want to put that one is, one can have suppose some 20 years of experience, but the thing is that should be really 20 years of experience, not that 1 year multiplied by 20 times. So such kind of cautions if we take and during the assessment time, definitely it will be helpful for the society, because there are so many examples are there, but now I'm not going to quote. So that caution will definitely help for the community.
So underline is clear. One, there are major chamber of commerces. Those who can afford, they have corporatized, so they have the money. Then there are professional society or tier 2, tier 3. They are struggling in terms of getting right manpower. And if you don't have the right manpower, the association cannot go. It's a chicken and egg. I think to start with it, kind of our mental state to change a little, I think, is that we have taken non-for-profit too much for granted. Any association, like corporatized, not for profit, of course, but they must have the attitude of for revenue. They have to earn revenue, because the revenue can then only sustain the manpower. I also do not see too many men. I go to business schools and other things. I don't see any association being, there in terms of recruitment when they're looking at 6 month, 1 year industrial training. I don't see much association there. So that could be one area. And I know in IIT also, some of the people coming out, around 20 to 30% of people now opting for social marketing and social areas. They want to work in that. And not all the time they are looking for money. Some of them doing an 1 year incubation program or industrial training. So you could tap those people. And last session also mentioned that in an association, you get a rounded experience because you are interacting in that industry with different companies, not just you are working for one company. So if it is presented well, career growth, I'm sure there will be a lot of people will be interested. Like the gentleman already mentioned that there are people for not only event, for organizational management. I'm sure they must be having industrial training for the staff. So if the association approaches them, you can get 6 month or 1 year volunteering services from these people. And if your association is doing well, bring their pay package And not all of them are looking at a corporate package. I'm sure the people, those who are coming to the association, they have a different expectation also. So you need those kind of people. So what?
Can I just interrupt
Yeah,
here?
please.
I'd like to draw a distinction, and I cannot speak for a more generalized chamber of people. And the deputation model is probably the only one that we can look at. I know there are certain bodies which have done this, and very large organizations have sent in people at a general manager or vice president level. Because I repeat, the exposure that you get in an association is very different from what you would get, however large the company that you're running, because you're locked into a certain format. So I'd just like to make the distinction between getting
Absolutely.
generalists in versus industry expertise.
Yeah, very rightly said. I just want to add one more thing. The forums like these, India Association Congress is just 3 years old. There are a lot of things that can be done collectively. For example, I'm just going through my mind right now that if you look at the total number of associations, how much staff collectively in India, okay, I'm sure it's going to be mind-boggling. It will be enough to generate interest, as you said, go to the universities, colleges, and give this as an option for people who, a lot of people are, as you said rightly, I know some people personally who've gone into non-profits, but they're more in charity and fundraising, pure fundraising organizations. And I've not heard anybody going to associations like yours who are doing good quality work, research work, societies, the professors in the last session were there, all that. So I'm sure there will be enough attraction in those. And not just this, but other subjects as well. I think we should take up, as a Congress,
Like creating a job
these
corner.
research, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Can I add to it? If there is no other.
I agree with both of my colleagues. And as far as your point is there, that non-profiting organizations do not mean that we should only do the charities. You don't earn the money. I agree 100% with you, but depends upon the opportunities. And there are many associations who have been designated to give some certificate. They charge the certification fees, and that becomes their earning. That depends upon the associations. There are many associations in your country. Most of the educational institutions, they are under trust. They are also like an association, but they are earning money, and then they have to show accordingly. So if you are a non-profiting organization, nothing bars you to earn. Only thing is, as an association persons, you cannot take the money for yourself. That has to only build up as a corpus. But you can earn, nothing bars you to earn. But that again depends upon what kind of opportunity you get to earn. That is the most important. So currently the people have been doing some conferences, saving something, and then are showing the earning. There are also certain points are there. It was very aptly said yesterday that only 15% of you can have the saving. That is right. So you save only 15%, another infrastructure you build, and if you can convert that as saving as a, in the terms of the fixed deposit, and that is not chargeable again, that becomes a saving. That is not chargeable. So that way also the people can manage if they have the earnings.
Mr. Gadre, I'm going to ask you because you run the Large Chamber of Commerce. Do you employ management trainees in your association or Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, we do. In fact, this year I ran 2 experiments. One is that I actually went to the management institutes with a pre-placement talk with an offer that the management trainees can work for a 2-year contract where they will get an opportunity to work with the top-notch vice presidents, managing directors in that expert committee, and chamber will outplace them after 2 years, will help them to outplacement. We don't expect them to retire from the chamber, obviously. So chamber will help them, no job guarantee, but then will help them to outplace them. And 6 of them have joined from good institutes, including one from IIM Kozhikode had joined. She left because of some other reasons. The second experiment that we are running is for very specific, industry specific, not generalist, but then industry specific. We have an agricultural conference and a shipping conference this year. They are biennial conferences. So from our member companies, people who have joined member companies in shipping corporation or in Pipavav shipyard and such other things, their executive assistants, we take them as interns for 6 to 8 months who work on very specific projects related with that particular conference. So we get the industry experience, we are able to actually lower the cost, and at the end of the conference the person goes back. So these two experiments we are running and it works well.
Any one of you here, any other, those who are employed?
In fact, going to the same question, like whether the bigger organization, they employ management training or not, we do that. But our experience, IIM and IIT people did not remain good. They leave the job within 1 or 2 years, like they get a better opportunity and leave, or they do the GRE, TOEFL and go abroad. But we have taken management training from IRI, from APJ School, XLRI. It remained good. They're still with the organization and doing well. But what happened that if they come from a management institute, their requirement and expectation is different. They want to grow faster, right? And they do contribute also. Menon sir, I beg to differ to you, because you told that it's better to take technical people instead of taking general management people, right? In all the bigger organizations, they work in a 3-tier system. They take experienced people having 10, 15, 20 years experience in the relevant segment, and all the chambers are having expert committees. It's not that everyone is doing everything. You look at the bigger chamber, they have more than 50, 60 expert committees. And a single expert committee, you can call them as a trade association. Who's doing agriculture, he will be doing agriculture only, and he's competent enough to look after that. And in that 3-tier system, they take technical people, they take general management people, and they do take event management people also. Who's doing event management for agriculture may not do the event management for like finance or other thing. So they are able to get success, and they could establish themselves as corporate instead of this big jargon of remaining non-profit organization or showing ourselves as doing social work and other things. They have really grown up as a corporate, and they are able to sustain, and they're expanding. Like if I talk about the bigger, like Apex organizations, they have even started their branches in different countries. Like CII is operating in 32 countries. Even FICI, I don't know the exact number, but more than 30. ASSOCHAM, they also have 15, 16 branches in different countries. So they are expanding.
But sir, they cannot be a yardstick for discussion. We are looking to medium, small association, those who are majority and national level. So finding staff is a challenge for them. And I don't think, so finding staff, that can be solved by innovative thinking of going to different institute and engaging them. Absolutely. But question is also sustaining them. And how do you deal with their, their thinking process and their future thinking, where they want to be placed. So that's, I think, is the dilemma that we want to do. But yes, Mr. Gadre.
Is it working? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to support the point that you had raised and Dr. Goswami had raised. I think many of us honestly think in terms of not-for-profit. I mean, after I joined the chamber, I've been advocating and quite successfully. Section 25 company does not mean that we are not supposed to make profit. We are not supposed to distribute profit. Creation of wealth is the primary responsibility. And if you have creation of wealth, then how to use it for the members is something that can be done. We don't have to do it. But then if everything we do it at a cost basis, the organization simply cannot survive. We have to have a revenue focus, we have to have a profit focus.
Yes.
I would like to share a personal experience here as the general view that has emerged. Getting the right people and more importantly retaining the right people is a very major challenge for smaller associations. We also went through that phase, but we found a very, if I may say, a very unique kind of way out. I identified a few people from within the industry who wanted to, kind of leave the industry for personal reasons, say not getting relocated to Delhi, for instance. And I can tell you this personal experience. Last year we have one of the service engineers from a tire company who badly wanted to relocate to Delhi for personal reasons. His parents were here and he wanted to look after them. And he was posted at Indore, and unfortunately there was nothing available at Delhi. And I could convince the company that instead of letting him go to a bank or an insurance or a third industry, why don't we have him here serving the very industry that he's been an integral part of? And the learning curve is absolutely condensed to a very minimal level. And he's a part of the organization now as a deputy director with our association. He knows that in terms of financials, his career path will not be the same as if he was to be working in that same tire multinational company. But that's more than compensated by, the quality and the content of what he is handling. Today he's a part of a discussion where the managing directors and the chairman of tire companies are a part of. Now, his peer group obviously, look upon that as a very major jump, quantum jump upwards. And I can tell you I have at least a dozen CVs now of young professionals who are wanting to switch from industry to the association. So this could be thought of.
I think that's very, very encouraging. Yes, Dr. Desai.
Yeah, just a thought on that for the small and medium associations. See, if we inculcate the culture of flexibility in working hours, then that also helps us in retaining people, because there are many, they have other priorities, but they want to serve for the association. And if we are flexible in giving them some concessions, and our work demands is not much, many times it does happen with us also, we work from home, but that's a working time. And that also helps us, like one day working from home, and you can devise a time that between 12 and 3 all should be available. And that's the time where your meetings, decisions, group meetings can take place. But other times the flexibility of coming at what time and going at what time. And that also helps in retaining people. At the same time, association demands are not much unless and until there is something event or some big meeting coming up in the future, immediately in a month's time. Remaining time, they are not that much occupied.
So you are saying the flexibility could attract people. Any comment on this?
Hasn't worked for us. We have an extremely thin secretariat. So, I think Mr. Mittal talked about. In fact, I can share with you personally that 2 years back when I took over at IEA, it was then called the India Semiconductor Association. Quite a few people asked me, "Are you looking at a retirement career?" And I certainly last year, couple of months, I think I was traveling more than I did in my 25 years of corporate life. So I think that's a point of view. Flexi time doesn't work for us. Flexi time is, I think, 8:30 to 8:30, 6 days a week in our case, in many cases. But I'm going to back up a little bit and come back to this issue of generalists versus specialists. And I'm repeating the disclaimer I put. I cannot talk in terms of a generalized trade body. Things work differently in a PhD chamber, a CII, FICCI. But in a very focused association like ours, lack of industry knowledge for people who have to get involved in advocacy is a killer. I have experimented with this in our very limited span of 9 years. We have had generalists, we've had people with hotel management backgrounds. They don't understand the electronics industry. And when they engage with members, it simply doesn't work out. So we have looked at those models and we have gone back to saying we need people with a background in the industry to come in and work for us. There are different models work for different associations.
Sure.
That's all I'll put as a disclaimer.
Absolutely. Any other comment? Yes, sir.
Share information. You can develop a pool of what you call resource persons. Outsourcing has also been mentioned. I am also honorary member secretary strategic management group. I am a founder member. We find it better to have a pool of what is called resource persons. Really, I'm talking about the middle and higher level. And also, as far as the accounting part is concerned, we outsource it to the chartered accountant with, of course, his own staff and come and we pay them monthly or some sort of for 1 day or 2 days, some such thing. These are things which you can experiment with. That is outsourcing, which is very important. And even in, I am told, many of the corporate sectors, they are trying to really outsource the HRD also. I mean, at least that there's a new thinking going on. Therefore, outsourcing is the only solution. About revenue earning capacity, in fact, I wanted to share with you the last session, but somehow I missed, I could not. The point is, as far as the Indian Institute of Industrial Engineering is concerned, we also run some programs. It also earns revenue. We also run what is called the degree level, what is called the, it's been recognized by the Government of India. Twice a year, in August and November, February, and this has been recognized by not only the Government of India but other public enterprises also, recognized by the Government of India for its equivalent to superior service in the government. And we find that about 30 chapters are there. We have got also board of exam, which is headed by a chairman, who is the director of the IITM Gwalior. I mean, there are various ways in really you have a shortage of what is called technically qualified people also. You can really identify people and then give them some sort of a conveyance allowance, some sort of honorarium. They will be very happy to come.
So what is emerging from this is that, yes, we need specific industry person, and that could be a challenge for an association because you need to interact with the industry members. But also there are several associations. I think general management is also, as long as attitudes are there and person are passionate, I'm sure a general management guy can also do the job for some association, may not be as specific as yours. But I think the creating of the pool and proactive approach to some of the institution would help. And I know a lot of younger generation coming up now, a lot of people want to join social services or social sector. So they may not have idea, or they may not have that big picture in front of them told by the association to do an internship maybe. Even if you get them a year or 2 years and rotate them, well, no, they save cost in that. So with that, we would like to wrap up this session. Thank you, panelists, for contributing. Give a round of applause to them. Lunch is waiting for us, but this is also our last session. I also wanted to just introduce two things while thanking all of you to join us here. Some of you may need transfer to airport. Please contact Mr. Nilesh, who will be outside at the help desk to coordinate your return transfer. We also talked about yesterday about our next year's event in Jaipur. I look forward to seeing all of you, or maybe many more there. We've also announced yesterday about taking membership in Association Network, which is, so you could go into this site and register yourself for free. What it does, not only it allows you to attend this conference, but also allows you to attend in between these events, other smaller workshop in specific subjects, maybe legal, maybe adopting technology, taxation issues, which are required or bothering association. It's also helpful. It will have a job corner now that we have got some help. So we will create a job corner also so that you are able to see the pool of people. I know we get a lot of mails from them, so we will create that. Suggestions are welcome. And you also have a survey form in front of you today. So I would request before you leave today, if you could leave that into this, so it will help us improve next year. Thank you so much. Thank you all of you.